Okay, this is a continuation of problem in 4C. We did number 1, and now we're going to look at the same two graphs, B and D here, with problem number 2 that asks some questions about it. So if we scroll down, we're going to see some questions, and we're supposed to answer true or false. Okay, so for function B, there's our questions. And just so we can see them both at the same time, here's the graph that we're going to be talking about. Let's try and move it over a little bit. And these are the questions it's asking. Okay, first question to ask, true or false, there are two values of x for which y is equal to 8. All right, here's the y-axis, here's y is equal to 8. So this horizontal line is where y is equal to 8. It only hits the graph at one point, right there. So there's only one point where x is a value of x for which y is equal to 8. So this is false. Okay. Next question. There are two values of x for which y is equal to 4. Well, this is the line where y is equal to 4. And so it hits the graph twice. Now, I don't know exactly what values those are, and it didn't ask us what they were. It just said there are two values. So yes, there's one of them here, and one of them here. One of them is between -3 and -4. One of them is between -1 and -2. And when I put those into the function, I get y is equal to 4. So this is true. Okay. Third one, there's a value of x for which y is equal to 9. Now, we have 2 every tick here, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 9's right about here. And the graph doesn't go up to that high. It doesn't go back to that. So this is false. So these three go false, true, and false. All right. Now let's move on to function D. The questions for it. All right. And then let's look at the graph of that at the same time. Here's the graph for D. It'd be hard to see these both at the same time, so let's move them around just a little bit there. Now I think we can see the questions refer to this graph. Looks like an exponential graph. We'll take a look at these kind of functions and models as they're called in the text later. But right now we're just looking at it in terms of x, y on the graph. Okay, function C is what we're looking at here. Okay. I'm sorry, this is D. This is D. We're looking at B and D. So let's roll this one up a little bit more. A little higher. I can't get it to go any higher. All right, let's just move it around. So we'll move this down. Oops. Let's move this down there. Okay. Now, it might be a little hard to see. Let's reposition the camera so we can see everything at once. Okay. All right, there's the graph. First question asks, true or false, the line y equals 1 intersects the graph of this function once. Okay, might be a little hard to see unless I push the graph upward a bit. Let's push it up here. I can get a hold of it. Hi. Okay, y equals 1 is way down here. If this is 8, this is 4, 1's down here. And so y equals 1 is a very low line down there. The graph does not come down there. So the line y equals 1 intersects this graph 0 times. And so the answer to this first one is false. All right, let's just put a false over here. Okay. Next question. When x is equal to 16, y is equal to 1. We look at our graph. And the point of interest here is right here. Now, that's where y is equal to 16, not x. It says x is equal to 16, y is equal to 1. This is the point 1, 16. That's where x is equal to 1, y is equal to 16. So the second one is false. They tried to get you to confuse x and y. Okay. Now, the third question just talks about the general trend. Let's move it down again. As the values of x increase, so do the corresponding values of y. So let's look at the graph. As x increases means as you move to the right. The values of y increase means it will move up. So yes, this function is increasing as we move to the right. And so the third one is true. Okay. So those refer to graphs. They refer to the three we looked at in the previous problem. True, false questions, not very hard. From there, we're going to move on and look at a little bit more specific things about functions.